campus of the University of Florida for our live ESPN coverage of women's college gymnastics. Tonight, we feature two of the top teams in the country as the number 2 Florida Gators welcome the number 5 Auburn Tigers. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Hi everybody, I'm Bart Connor along with my fellow Olympic medalist Kathy Johnson-Clark, and what a thrill it is here to be tonight. Not only with these two outstanding teams, but they're both led by two of the brightest stars in the history of NCAA gymnastics.
And Bart, with great teams and big names come big skills, and I'm willing to bet, I'm going out on a limb here, some big scores.
Yeah.
And my gosh, these two teams and their stars, they started season with a bang. Suni Lee performed to perfection, a high level difficulty on beam. All season long, we're going to see her push the envelope in difficulty, going above and beyond as she plans a return to elite training after this, her last collegiate season. We're in for a treat. But one gymnast got their 10-0 score in before Suni did, and it was Trinity Thomas doing Trinity things, while also upgrading her difficulty in the process. I can't wait to see this epic beam battle between these two stars leading two great teams. Let's go down to Sam Pache. Oh, first time we see it. Right.
Thanks, Kathy. Trinity Thomas has already made history, but she's on her way to breaking another record. So far, she has 21 career perfect 10s. Just 8 more, and she'll have the new record. To put it in context, she scored a perfect 10 in the last 5 consecutive meets, so she's right on track. Between Sunisa Lee, Trinity Thomas, and the rest of the superstars in this meet, you are exactly right, Kathy. We can't warn them enough. You got to be ready for some big scores tonight.
Take a look at the accolades by these two superstars. Suni Lee, of course, is the Olympic all-around gold medalist and team silver medalist. She won the NCAAs on beam last year. Trinity Thomas won 3 titles at last year's NCAAs, the all-around bars and floor, and the 2022 Honda Cup top 3 finalists. We're looking forward to this meet as some of the finest gymnasts, not just in the country, but in the world, will be competing tonight here in Gainesville.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Should have recorded it.
No, I was still making sure my timing was with my, yeah. No, I know. I know.
All right.
So we're good. We're ready to.
Yeah, that'll fit nice.
Yeah, it will. And
of course, we'll probably not do it because we'll come late.
I know.
The competition, but both reputable programs really are looking to finish on the top this season. Let's take a look at Florida's championship history. You can see their first NCAA title happened in 2013, following a year where they finished second. This last 2022 season ended similarly, with Florida placing second. Coaches from Florida have told me their drive and intrinsic motivation remind them of that 2013 national championship winning team. The athletes, the coaches, they're hungry for another title.
So much fun. It was incredible. The team was incredible. Just coming up a little short that time was definitely a bummer. And there were definitely some tears, but I knew that we all went out there, gave it all we had, and we had so much fun doing it. So although we came up short, I'm so proud of last year's team.
There was really nothing more that we could do except do our best and go out there and give it all that we had, and that's absolutely what we did. Obviously, we would have loved to walk away with a national championship, but I really don't think that there's anything any person could have done more of. We were just all super proud of how far we did make it. And coming back to finish second place after the previous year finishing 4th was a step in the right direction, and it just proves that we have more to give.
I think what's different about this team and where I see this team has taken it to the next level is the intent of what they're doing and how they're doing it every day in the gym. You could just see it, we could feel it the very first day we started official practices back. and everything is done with a purpose.
A national championship, that's definitely #1 on the top of all of our lists.
Savannah Shane here is unfortunately out with a foot injury right now, but she's part of the 5th-year senior class that has had a roller coaster journey. Their freshman year, they uncharacteristically didn't make nationals. Then it was the COVID year, and since then they've been working their way up the rankings, and they're doing a good job. Florida is heading to bars where they're ranked 1st in the country, and Auburn is heading to vault where they're also ranked in the #1 spot. So coming up, we have 2 teams looking to defend their rankings. Can they do it?
To claim free tickets to Sunday's basketball game, just for being here in attendance tonight. Gators, check out tonight's Meet program, now entirely digital. Visit Games.com/Gym program to access rosters, live stats, inside, and more. Check it out now on your smartphone for a contactless digital Meet Day program. Gators Experience is a student-athlete program that houses career, community, leadership, and personal development initiatives that every Gators student-athlete leave university prepared professional. Follow @GatorsEXP on Instagram and Facebook, or visit GatorsExperience.com to see the many ways.
Welcome back to the battle between Auburn and Florida. As you can see, Auburn has taken a slight lead heading into the 3rd rotation. I think this is the 3rd rotation. Auburn's on a roll, but it's a program that's been building for years. They have broken a ton of records, and they're hoping to keep that momentum going.
Last year, just what we did as a team. It kind of just felt like the Auburn show. Everywhere we went, I feel like there was so much love and support, not only at home meets, but just everywhere we went. I just felt like everyone had our back, and that was just a great feeling.
When we made it to nationals, and we were all just standing there waiting for the results, and we finally just saw the score go up, and we knew that we were going, all just celebrating, and I remember knocking over one of the corrals, and it was just a crazy moment, but it was so fun.
We had 2 athletes on our team that had ever been in the postseason of the NCAA. So I do think it was a David and Goliath situation.
We were working towards it the whole season, so to finally just have that in our bag and make it there was an amazing experience. This year, I think we're going to be great.
I hope what happens is that the girls, take so much confidence away from that, but also get that experience. I think we've done a really good job this fall of trying to dial it back to what our controllables are. I think we had a little bit to learn from last year. I think we got there, we experienced what it's like, and I think now the goal is let's go back and try to improve upon what we did last year.
Head coach Jeff Graba said that last year was the first season they not only had the talent, but they had the confidence to beat tough teams on the road. He attributes this to depth, the iron sharpens iron mentality, and of course, consistency at the beginning of the lineup. They're hoping to continue that momentum heading into Florida, while Florida is hoping to increase their lead on beam. When I do this, I'll probably have to be more that way so I'm out of the corner.
I can do that.
Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
this is all NCAA, not just, right? Yes, general, big picture, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that was a really good open though. So I'd like I don't know. So we're just going to go to first vault, like we're going to not
They're
be on
tied.
Yeah, okay.
They're tied, LSU and Kentucky.
Oh wow.
Going into floor.
Okay.
We're going into Haley.
Yeah. And what happened to Haley? You said some. Oh, at the end? Oh no, she did a 1.5 twist. Front layout to 1.5. That's her middle pass. Yeah. She does.
There's something
front.
prior to that.
Oh, I'm watching.
Prior
Oh.
to. That's not a replay.
Oh, okay. It's not a replay.
Oh.
Yeah. No, come on. Green screens. So we're not going on camera, I don't think. Right? Okay, not in the open.
We're going to hear
Okay, okay.
early season stories.
Yes.
What could I tee you up with?
No, I think just a big picture. First of all, the way this season has started. It used to be people would ease into their season. No, most teams really came out pretty hot. We covered Utah. They look really good. Third last year against LSU. And LSU is a team that has something to prove. They did not finish the season they wanted to, so they're starting that climb.
And I'll dive in there and I'll say, and of course, LSU will
Yes.
welcome the #1 Oklahoma Sooners on Monday.
Perfect.
We'll do
and
that.
and Oklahoma, everybody's saying it. They look hard to beat.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. Yeah.
Okay. Something like that.
Yeah. Blah blah blah. That's enough, right?
I'm sure.
Okay, so we'll just play off each other.
I'm tired of us by that point.
Yes.
It's a lot of. I got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know. Oh, before?
That's all on cards.
I know. So you're going to look at me and go,
Promos.
what was I going to?
Yeah.
I know it'll be a great competition. They're always an amazing competitor.
Each meet is so intense. They bring the power. We always bring out the best in each other.
They're always going to bring their best.
It's always a nail biter.
They bring such energy. They're going to bring the heat.
We know what we want.
Join us on Martin Luther King Jr. Day for some afternoon gymnastics. The defending national champions, the OU Sooners, will be at the PMAC to take on LSU Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. Then on Friday next week, we have a full night of gymnastics highlighted by Friday Night Heights doubleheader on SEC Network starting at 7 Eastern. We'll also have the Gators heading into Tuscaloosa on ESPNU at 7:30, and Kathy, you and I will have that one. ESPN is celebrating Dr. King weekend. We also celebrate that history was made last weekend when Fisk University became the first program from historically black colleges and universities to compete in an NCAA gymnastics event. They took us behind the scenes in last week's meet in Las Vegas.
You are making history, so always walk with attitude and passion to do your best.
We'll have so much more from Fisk throughout the season. SEC Network will debut a feature in February about the team, and Anscape will continue to document their milestone season. Hi, everybody. Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. We have a great meet going on here tonight in Florida, but let's talk about the entire season. We've already seen some outstanding gymnastics, and we're just getting started.
Absolutely. We're seeing Florida. They look great, and they are on a mission. Just missed winning it all last year. And we covered Utah and LSU. Utah finished third last year. They look fantastic, especially at this point in the season. And LSU, yes, they've got something to prove. They did not finish their season the way they wanted to, so they're on a climb.
And on Monday afternoon, LSU will welcome the #1 Oklahoma Sooners, and we'll have that one at 3 p.m. Eastern.
And like everybody's saying, they look hard to beat.
All right, we'll be right back.
Oh.
You're ahead of us because we're watching it on
Oh,
the delay.
no. You're kidding. It's Achilles. It has to be. No, God dang it. Yeah.
These cards are great.
Yeah, how far are we from a bathroom here? Right? Oh, no. Is Achilles? Or what was it?
It looks like she grabbed her left Achilles.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God. And she was way short.
On the takeoff? Yeah. Okay.
Feature the #2 Florida Gators as they welcome the #5 Auburn Tigers. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. I'm Bart Connor, and I'm thrilled to be alongside my fellow Olympic medalist Kathy Johnson-Clark. Kathy, not only two great teams tonight, but two of the biggest names in NCAA gymnastics history competing.
Suni Lee, last year's NCAA beam champion, and of course the 2020 Olympic all-around champion, and Trinity Thomas, NCAA all-around champion last year, winner of 2 individual events. For more on Trinity, let's go down to the floor with our own Sam Peshek.
Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, Trinity has already made history, but she's on her way to breaking another record. She already has 21 perfect career 10 so far, just 8 more, and she's got the new record. To put it in context, she scored a perfect 10 in her last 5 consecutive meets, so she's right on track. Between Sunisa Lee, Trinity Thomas, and all the other superstars, you've got to be looking out for these big scores tonight.
You're right, Sam, and we're looking forward to this meet. Not only some of the finest gymnasts in the country, but in the world competing tonight here in Gainesville, Florida. There is graduate student Trinity Thomas, and of course there is the reigning Olympic all-around champion Suni Lee, who has announced this will be her final year in NCAA competition. She's going to give it one more shot to get ready for the Olympics in Paris for 2024. So a big night here. Sold out crowd at the Exact Tech Arena. They've sold out the last 12 of 15 meets here. Florida Gymnastics last year just second at the NCAA championships by a little over 1/10 of a point. They are very hungry, and we get the meet started off on vault tonight with the home team. Bree Edwards, the sophomore from Navarre, Florida, will lead them off.
Great event for Florida to start. Bree Edwards is going to perform a full twisting Yurchenko. It's a round-off entry vault. You'll see her place her hands down at the end of the run before the board, round off onto the board, reach back hard and fast to that table for an optimal block, because the judges are really looking for height and distance on these vault, and of course, perfect shape for the skill. Watch for the layout position and the full twist. Spots the landing. Oh, a big bounce back. Unfortunately, they'll have to take a deduction for that hop. But such a nice position in the air. She really gets that nice, straight, tight body in the layout position.
And for Auburn, the visiting Tigers, senior Adeline Sabados, they call her Addie. She has scored well on bars throughout her career for the Auburn Tigers.
One thing Auburn wants to do is attack these handstands, just like that first one. Beautiful height on that ray, that single bar release on the high bar. Here's her transition to low. Just a little leg separation going into that bail handstand. Final cast a tiny bit short. See if she can get this landing. We're gonna need some big sticks here. That was a pike down of that double layout, so they'll deduct a little bit for that position, piking down, and then the hop.
She said it's her favorite event because it feels like she's doing the impossible, defying gravity. Addie Sabados from Castle Rock, Colorado, leading it off for Auburn. Okay, back over to the vault now. Peyton Richards, the senior from Mokina, Illinois, will be next to go. Last week, you see, she had 9.75 on vault. Florida, one of the deepest teams in the country. They are 8 or 9 deep on every event. Bree Edwards led them off with a 9.775.
Peyton's vault looks so good in warm-up. She's got a short, fast run. This is a 1.5 twist. Oh, she was going for the stick, got a little ahead of herself, so she under-rotated. Unfortunately, that's more of a deduction when you under-rotate the vault, because you get the deduction for the step and for the under-rotation.
Expecting a close competition tonight, and of course there's a lot of attention on people like Suni Lee, but Auburn would have been in the top 10 in NCAA last year even without Suni Lee. So Jeff Grabe and his program really on the rise there. Olivia Hollingsworth is a superstar in the making, Kathy.
Absolutely strong on all 4 events. Nice first handstand. Here's her transition to the high bar. It's called a Maloney. A little bit of leg separation there. Looking for vertical on that final handstand. And a full out. Love that dismount. Double back with a full twist. She really waits and twists on that final somersault. Nicely done.
Addie Sabados led them off with a 9.8. This will get a good score as well.
That Maloney from low bar to high bar, we're going to see a lot in this competition. Many of the gymnasts do.
Talk about the stars for Florida. There'll be a lot of focus on Trinity Thomas, but how about Leanne Wong? 4 All-American honors last year, the high among all freshmen at the NCAA championships. The world medalist in the all-around for the U.S. Peyton Richards, her score 9.725. Florida yet to break into the 9.8s or above.
Complicated vault, round-up entry. Half onto the table, half off in a pike position. Very difficult vault. It's a 10-0 start value. And she really does that vault quite well. Can't quite get the landing yet, but really complex vault. Half twist onto the table, front pike with a half twist off. She just piked into that landing a little bit more than she needed to, so her hips were back when her feet made contact with the mat, forcing her to take a step.
She has scored perfect 10s on both vault and bars in her young career. Also competing as an international elite. Back now to Auburn. Sophia Groth coming after Olivia Hollingsworth got the second 9.8 in a row for the Tigers.
Another gymnast performing that ray, that single bar release move. Hack salto down to the low bar. Very nicely done on that handstand pirouette on low bar. Really want to see those pirouettes finish in handstand. She was trying to sell that final handstand. She was just a little bit short. But wow, came up big time on that landing. Maybe that's going to start something. because both of these teams really have not stuck landings yet. Check this out, single bar release, 2 feet above the bar, manages to keep those legs straight, and the dismount made more difficult by doing that full pirouette into the double tuck.
You mentioned she's 2 feet above the bar. That means at any one point, she's at least 10 feet in the air. Amazing. Talk about somebody who can fly. Here is graduate student Trinity Thomas.
She doesn't just fly, she flips and twists. Almost got the stick. Oh, just a little stutter step. She has really become such an uncanny sticker on all of her skills, knows where she is in the air, but she gets height, distance, nearly 5 feet at the hips off the table, and just that shuffle backwards with her feet. Pretty darn good ball.
It's brilliant when you see the combination of power and precise technique and form. Trinity Thomas setting and breaking every record at the University of Florida, and here in her graduate year has a chance to set a new record in perfect tens. As Sam mentioned earlier, she had 12 perfect tens last year, 3 of them on the vault.
One of the hardest events really to get that 10-0, because sticking a vault after so much speed, power, it's such a dynamic event, can be tricky to find that landing.
Senior all-arounder for Auburn now, Cassie Stevens.
She'll open with the ray right here, out of the toe hand. There's that vertical handstand right on top of the bar. Okay, good landing. Little bit of a kite down.
2 sticks in a row, though.
Some soft knees and feet form, just minor.
Sophia Groth before her, a 9.825. This freshman Kayla DiCello out of Boyd's, Maryland. She did her club training at Hills Gymnastics with Kelly Hill. Great to have her here, the 2021 World All-Around Bronze Medalist and a replacement athlete for the Olympics in 2020.
And Bart, I believe she's doing the 1.5 twist. I can't see the placard that flashes the ball, but she'll either do a full, a 1.5, she went for it, well done. This is one of the first times she's actually done that vault on the hard ground, and it's just different the first time you're trying to land it on the hard ground. Good for her.
Kathy, it's really interesting because I spoke to Associate Head Coach Adrian Burdett yesterday and today, and he assured me that she was not going to do the 1.5 if she wasn't in that 6th spot. She was just going to do a full. So good to see she landed that one.
That is a big hurdle for her, because I know that she had some nerves with it.
She gets congratulated by Savannah Shane here, who broke her foot the other day before their opening meet. They hope to have her back in the lineup later on. Now watch this. This is Darian Goborn. Talk about somebody who can really fly.
Huge amplitude, especially on that pack salto down to the low bar. She is just so dynamic and aggressive in all of her gymnastics. And check out the height on this dismount. It's a full twisting double back, and she just flies. She released the bar just a touch early, so it went out a little bit farther away from the bars than usual. And when you do that, it's so hard to find the landing, but check out the amplitude with a capital A. So 2 feet above the bar on the single bar release, and her pack salto down to the low bar. Nice straight body, good form on that. Oh, just not quite on the landing.
Back to vault for Florida. Trinity Thomas had a 9.925. Kayla DiCello a 9.9. Now Chloe Clark, they made a lineup change here just a few minutes ago. Jenny Rowland can do that any way she wants. Chloe Clark will be the final vaulter for Florida here in this rotation.
finishing off with a nice clean full, and notice I believe she landed in between those lines. That's new this year. They have direction lines on the vault for the judges to use to determine whether the gymnast has stayed perfectly in line with the table.
There are a number of vault and rules changes in the NCAA gymnastics this year. That one is one of the easiest ones to point out because obviously the lines, although there's no specific deduction for them, they give the judges a guide. And of course, here is the reigning Olympic all-around champion, Suni Lee, coming after Darian Goulbourne had a 9.875.
And this routine is just breathtakingly beautiful. Effortless with her swing, her technique, so precise. Look at the height, the perfect form, and the transition from bar to bar, back and forth with extremely difficult skills. So two single bar release moves, another release move down to the low bar, finishes with a giant fall. Oh, just didn't stick the landing on the double tuck, but the rest, wow. I could watch Suni Lee swing bars all day, and I think she could swing bars all day.
We watched her in the warm-ups, and she went over and over. I mean, it looks, if you can do it this well, it must be just fun.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That is blimp-worthy. Just fabulous. And she nailed every one of these in warm-ups. It's just a little too easy for her, that dismount.
Her form and execution and flight just takes your breath away. Last year, Florida missed out on a championship by just over 1/10 of a point. They're more determined than ever to win a championship this year. And we'll have that story when we come back to Gainesville.
After the first rotation, Auburn has a slight lead over Florida. But both of these programs are reputable and looking to finish the season on top. Let's take a look at Florida's championship history. As you can see, their first NCAA title happened in 2013, following a year where they finished in second place. This last 2022 season ended similarly, with Florida placing second. But the Florida coaches separately have told me how the drive and intrinsic motivation of this team matches that of the 2013 national championship winning team. The athletes, the coaches, they're all hungry for another title.
Nationals last year was so much fun. It was incredible. The team was incredible. Just coming up a little short that time was definitely a bummer. And there were definitely some tears, but I knew that we all went out there, gave it all we had, and we had so much fun doing it. So although we came up short, I'm so proud of last year's team.
There was really nothing more that we could do except do our best and go out there and give it all that we had, and that's absolutely what we did. Obviously, we would have loved to walk away with a national championship, but I really don't think that there's anything any person could have done more of. We were just all super proud of how far we did make it, and coming back to finish second place after the previous year finishing fourth was a step in the right direction, and it just proves that we have more to give.
I think what's different about this team and where I see this team has taken it to the next level is the intent of what they're doing and how they're doing it every day in the gym. You could just see it, we could feel it the very first day we started official practices back, and everything is done with a purpose.
A national championship, that's definitely number one on the top of all of our lists.
Savannah Shane Hare is unfortunately out with a foot injury right now, but she's part of that fifth-year senior class that really has had a roller coaster journey. Their freshman year, they uncharacteristically didn't make nationals, and then it was a COVID year. And since then, they've been working their way up the rankings, and they're doing a good job of it. Florida is heading to bars where they're ranked first in the country, and Auburn is heading to vault where they're also ranked in the #1 spot. So coming up, we have two teams looking to defend their rankings. Can they do it?
Yeah, all right, we're getting set for the second of 4 rotations. The home team, Florida, will move to the bars, and Auburn will move to the vault. Arena. Welcome everyone to our Florida versus Auburn dual meet, a sold-out Exactech Arena. Number 2 Florida welcoming number 5 Auburn, and we have some stars in the competition tonight, including the reigning Olympic all-around champion Suni Lee for Auburn, and Florida's Trinity Thomas, record-setting NCAA champion. Rotation 1 is over, and Suni Lee was spectacular, as expected, on the bars, Kat.
Absolutely. As I said, I could watch Suni Lee swing bars all day long. Packed full of difficulty. She couldn't quite get the stick on the landing, but the first part of the bar routine was money. And Trinity Thomas, high flying as always, didn't quite get the perfect stick she wanted, but a great vault.
Talk about the accolades from these 2 great champions. Suni Lee, the reigning Olympic all-around gold medalist. She won the NCAA championship on beam. And then Trinity Thomas, a graduate student this year in nursing. 3 individual titles last year at the NCAA championships, all-around bars and floor. We welcome our audience joining us from the Kentucky LSU gymnastics meet. Kentucky got the win over LSU. I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark and Sam Peshek. In the second rotation here, Auburn now on the vault.
Olivia Hollingsworth opens up with a Yurchenko full. That's a 995 start value. So keep in mind that is the maximum score that she can get with that vault. It's based on the level of difficulty.
Each team puts up 6 athletes on each event. You count just the top 5 scores towards their team total. So there is a little bit of a buffer. Peyton Richards now will lead off for Florida on bars.
The all-important vertical positions on these handstands. Seen some form errors here so far in this routine. A leg separation on the transition. 2 giant swings here, setting up the dismount, a double layout.
Oh, nice.
Wow, she had a lot of time to spot that landing. And does Florida need that? They did not stick enough vaults, so they're a little bit behind. They're playing catch up here, and this is a great event for them to do so. So the judges sit right on the side. They want to see those handstands perfectly straight, like an arrow, and vertical. Whoa, wide leg separation. See if the judges can see that sitting on the side.
Sophia Groth will be next up for Auburn, currently the #1 ranked team. They set a program record last week in Las Vegas on this event.
Another Yurchenko full, great control on that landing. This is a round-off entry vault called a Yurchenko. We'll see this done many, many times in NCAA gymnastics, and she does it with a layout and a full twist on the afterflight.
Sloan Blakely, the sophomore from Frisco, Texas, will be next to go. He's getting a couple of notes there from Owen Field in his 8th season with Florida. He is responsible for their great work on the uneven bars, on that coaching staff, which includes Jenny Rowland and, of course, Adrienne Burde. 3-time national champions Florida fly on this event.
One of the most common ways to earn bonus on bars, which they need to earn, is that combination right there, the 2 release transition moves from bar to bar. Final pass handstand, a touch short going into that toe hand blind change into the front giant, and a double front, very hard dismount to find that landing. She over-rotated, big step forward.
There is Jenny Rowland, the head coach of Florida in her 8th season. She had formerly been an assistant at Auburn under Jeff Graba. We mentioned NCAA runner-up last year by .112 behind the Oklahoma Sooners, who won their 5th championship in the last 8 seasons. So a hungry Florida team hoping to win it this year. Here is sophomore Sarah Hubbard now up for Auburn.
Fast and packed with power, doing this Yurchenko 1.5 twist. That's a 10-0 start value. For the extra half a twist, we've seen the Yurchenko fulls. Now we're seeing the 1.5 twist here. Big hop forward, so that will be the biggest deduction on that vault.
3 times last year she scored 9-9. One of them was against Florida in that epic dual meet at Auburn. There is Jeff Graba, his 13th season as an Auburn head coach. And talk about a turnaround. He'd already been building a great program, but then Sunisa Lee shows up, and they went from 1-7 in the SEC to 4th in the country, and they set every record in the Auburn record books last year in terms of scores, attendance, and total interest in the program, and well-deserved by Jeff Graba, who has been methodically plodding along, and finally he landed a big superstar like Suni Lee, and to add to the complement of great gymnasts he had already at Auburn, and what a program
and
they
it just, it infused so much enthusiasm in that team. They all upped their games.
Victoria Wynn now.
Beautiful bar worker, very elegant. Was a little bit close catching on that transition down to low bar. So kind of a break in rhythm. The judges are looking for, obviously, great technique, good form, straight bodies in the handstands, and of course the all-important dismount and stuck landing. Beautiful execution on the double layup. It's slightly over-rotated.
Victoria Wynn, one of 2 transfers from Georgia, along with Rachel Bauman.
You don't just want to see it on top of the bar. You want to see perfect form. They should look like an arrow. Perfectly straight line from hands all the way through shoulders, hips, and toes. Double layout, nice rise, nice elevation on that dismount.
Up next on vault for Auburn will be Cassie Stevens. She's one of 3 all-arounders tonight with the Auburn Tigers, along with Sunisa Lee and Olivia Hollingsworth. She had a 9.85 on bars in the first rotation.
And she can do either a full or a 1.5 twist. She does the 1.5 twist. Gets very, very good distance. Looked a slightly off direction.
We have a college basketball quintuple header for you tomorrow on ESPN and the app. It all starts with these 2 games. Number 5, Tennessee hosts Oscar Tshiebwe in Kentucky at noon Eastern. Then Caleb Love leads North Carolina against L. Ellis in Louisville. Should be a great day for hoops. Kayla DiCello now set to go. Only Victoria Wynn before her, a 9.8. Sloan Blakely, after a little stumble on that dismount, only 9.775. Remember, they had the lead coming into this rotation.
Watch this combination. Ray goes back up to a handstand and then connects these 2 skills. Pack salto to a toe handstand, very difficult. And now to a Van Leeuwen, right back up to the high bar. Perfect last cast handstand. And a beautifully executed full twist and double back. What form she held in that dismount. Very difficult to keep knees together, toes pointed in a double back with a full twist. Wow, good for her.
See why she's an all-around medalist at the World Championship.
So this is called a ray, almost 2.5 feet above. So notice we're seeing a little bit more amplitude than we've seen thus far on that release move. This transition, so difficult from the pack salto and get those toes on the bar to go right into the next skill.
Back to vault now for Auburn.
Suni, half on, front with a half. Very well controlled vault. Difficult vault, it's a 10-0 start value as well. And she can do that in a pike position. She's even working on this very skill with a 1.5 twist.
It's interesting, she has so many skills in her bag of tricks. She has many, many options, doesn't she?
And what's amazing, notice how she kept her toes pointed throughout that vault.
From star to star here tonight in Gainesville. Look at this, Trinity Thomas. 9.95 bar average last week. Kayla DiCello before her, a 9.925.
And this bar routine just breathes confidence. She is so smooth, so clean. Oh, beautiful elevation on her Van Leeuwen, that transition release from low to high bar. Check out this double layout. She is a flyer and a sticker.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
What a landing. You know, it's amazing. We were talking to Owen Field last night, the coach responsible for their good work on bars, and he said she doesn't particularly like that dismount, but boy, did she drill it. Wow.
She still gets nervous for this dismount, and I can't believe it. It is so beautiful. I asked her how she's able to do it so well, even though she's nervous. She said, before I salute, I say, you can do this. You've been working for this. God's got you, and you got this. That's the secret for you guys.
It's all energy, Sam. You know that. Nervous can be the same as just excited.
And Darian Goborn on vault for Auburn.
Oh, Darian Goborn, lots of amplitude on that vault. And listen to this crowd erupting.
Oh, they wanted to see a 10.
They saw one judge go 10, and the other judge went, what, 9.95? Oh, boy.
We have to explain because each judge puts up their individual score. So one put up at 10, and everybody was excited. The other put up at 9.95, and a rousing boo from over 9,000 fans here tonight. We're not happy. Trinity Thomas trying to break that NCAA record of perfect 10s. I think she has a good chance to do it this year. Their final performer here is Leanne Wong.
And this is a routine that can score huge. Excellent technique, nice rhythm in this routine. I love the straight arm work. Oh, just a gorgeous final pass to handstand right on top of the bar. Double layout again. Wow! Beautiful.
Okay, now the pressure's really on those judges.
Okay, how do you like them apples?
Oh my goodness. This is a 12th sellout out of the last 15 meets. The quality of gymnastics here at Florida is just second to none.
This was so pretty. Now that's how you want to see a cast a handstand. No bounce, no muscle up. No sway in the back or angle in the shoulders or hips, just perfectly straight and drilled that landing.
Waiting on the scores. There's a great, oh, there it is! There would have been a riot among more than 9,000 fans if she didn't get it. Did we see 2 10s? There it is! We saw one and we waited for the second 10 to come up. Oh my goodness. In the second rotation, Leanne Wong, a perfect 10 on bars. She's done it before. They were trailing Auburn after the first event and now have regained the lead after bars. The head coach of Auburn is with Sam now, Jeff Graba.
Thanks, Bart. Jeff, it's getting a little wild in here, but you guys came into this meet ranked first on vault. Did you think they did their job tonight?
Yeah, I think we did our job. We weren't as good as we were last week, but you know, you're not going to be premier every week. We just got to get our stuff done, and I think they're handling the environment really well.
You guys were in the lead after the first event, and you're trailing slightly. What do you got to do to win this meet?
Obviously, score about 5 more 10s here. We'll see. You know, we don't get carried away with that. We do our business. We got to hit floor, and if we don't hit floor, we can't win a meet. So one routine at a time.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
All right, last year was without a doubt the best season for the Tigers under Jeff Graba. We'll take a look back at their record-breaking season when we come back.
And it is heating up in here. We saw our first perfect 10 of the meet from Leanne Wong. Trinity Thomas was close, scoring a 9.975. That means Florida has taken the lead and Auburn trails going into third event. Auburn's on a roll though, but it's a program that's been building. You can say here, their scores are off the charts. Denise Lee is a big part of that. Darian Goborn is a big part of that. It's the mentality of iron sharpens iron. 1, 2, 3, confident!
Last year, just what we did as a team, it kind of just felt like the Auburn show. Everywhere we went, I feel like there was so much love and support, not only at home meets, but just everywhere we went. I just felt like everyone had our back, and that was just a great feeling.
When we made it to nationals, and we were all just standing there waiting for the results, and we finally just saw the score go up, and we knew that we were going, all just celebrating, and I remember knocking over one of the corrals, and it was just a crazy moment, but it was so fun.
We had 2 athletes on our team that had ever been in the postseason of the NCAA. So I do think it was a David and Goliath situation.
We were working towards it the whole season, so to finally just have that in our bag and make it there was an amazing experience. This year I think we're going to be great.
I hope what happens is that the girls, take so much confidence away from that, but also get that experience, And I think we've done a really good job this fall of trying to dial it back to what our controllables are. I think we had a little bit to learn from last year. I think we got there, we experienced what it's like, and I think now the goal is let's go back and try to improve upon what we did last year.
Well, Auburn's head coach Jeff Graba said that last year was the first season they had talent and the confidence to beat tough road teams. They're carrying that momentum into this year, and he's attributing it to the depth and consistency at the front half of the lineup. That's a big focus for Auburn going into floor. Florida, of course, is hoping to increase their lead on beam.
Auburn led. Denise Lee had the high score for the Tigers on bars, and after the second rotation, Florida surged into the lead by a quarter of a point, capped by Leanne Wong's perfect 10. So Florida will move to the beam in this next rotation with a slight lead, and the Auburn Tigers will be on the floor. And what a moment this will be for young Morgan Hurd, the former world all-around champion, sat out last year with a serious injury, in the lineup this year, Kathy, and this is fun to see her.
And always a fan favorite. She is just a delightful gymnast, human being. Look at the positions on those leads. Ooh, little bit of nerves there. Very difficult leap combination. That's one of the requirements on beam, to connect 2 dance elements or a dance element with an acro.
Just a year ago, she was sidelined with a ACL tear, had surgery, worked her way back into a position on the lineup.
Here's the dismount. It's a round of double twist. This is a D skill, so more difficult dismount than we usually see off beam. A really hard dismount to stick perfectly. She showed great control and just a tiny hop. But look at this position. So the gymnast must hit a 180-degree split in the air. She goes beyond, which is why we see it in real time. And that second jump is very difficult. A split ring just needs to keep that toe point on that back foot, and that's going to be a gorgeous combination.
Even though she's competed on some of the biggest stages, you can imagine in these college crowds, it's a different environment competing for your team.
Gabby McLaughlin now, the junior from Irving, Texas.
Powerful, dynamic music. A little bit low on that second somersault. That should really rise even higher than the first in that tumbling pass.
A consistent contributor on beam last year for the Tigers. 9.9 average last year on that event, but Jeff Graba says she's one of our secret weapons.
She's now doing 3 events for them. She performs some of the cleanest gymnastics in the competition. So as you can imagine, the fans would be rocking at Auburn here. They're a little quiet. Big rivalry here. Final pass, pike double back. Good control, just a little deep in the knees on that landing. Interestingly, Gabby, as you can tell, loves to dance. She's actually done a lot of the choreography for the other routines in this lineup, so they'll be fun to watch.
To go back to Florida on beam, Morgan Hurd had a 9.725. That brings up Sloane Blakely.
And you see the gymnasts, especially on balance beam, taking deep breaths. That is so much a part of a preparation for an athlete, especially on an event that you have to take all the adrenaline, all the energy in this arena, and then laser focus it on your strong cues for this event. Beautiful flexibility on that scale. Front aerial, right to the back handspring. That's her acrobatic series. It's one of the requirements on balance beam, and because it doesn't earn bonus, she'll have to do an extra D element. Beautiful positions, especially on that first leap. Nice split in the air, and the second leap, very difficult. Switch leap with a half twist.
Averaged over 9.9 on beam in her freshman season last year.
Looking very confident. New dismount for her. Gainer full off the side, just a little hop there. With the rules changes, we're gonna see gymnasts doing different dismounts this year. This is the front aerial, nice form, kept those legs really straight and kept her arms moving to not break that connection between those two skills. And a gainer full, that means off the one leg, she swings the free leg up into the somersault before she twists.
Gymnastics fans will know that her sister Sky Blakely signed a letter of intent to come to Florida after she's done with her elite aspirations. She was a member of the World Championship team this year for the U.S. So more Blakeleys coming to contribute to the Gators. Here is Olivia Hollingsworth on floor. Gabby McLaughlin led them off with a 9.8.
And this is the other gymnast that Jeff Graber just said. She is going to be a star for us.
Oh,
look at that full out. Oh, we love that.
Love that.
Double back with a full twist, but on the second somersault. Freshman year, she was off to a great start and then had a torn Achilles, and she has come back so strong and on all 4 events.
I love what Jeff Graber said about her. She's the quintessential elite athlete who was never fully appreciated as an elite, and now she is thriving in NCAA competition.
Difficult combination pass, a front tuck, and then tumbles through to a double back. Good bonus there. Keep in mind the gymnasts, if they just have all the basic requirements, their routines are out of a 9.4. They need to earn 0.6 of a point bonus. With these difficult tumbling passes, doing either the D or E elements, notice how she just waits on that first somersault, then twists. And the last pass, a boatload of bonus on that front tuck through to a double back at the end of the routine. Well done.
Ellie Lazari now after Sloane Blakely had a 9.875 for Florida on beam. Lazari, the junior. She had one routine last year in 2022 and then tore her Achilles in the pre-meet warm-ups before Georgia. So great to have her back in the lineup.
Triple series, big bonus here. Oh, did the series really well. Just didn't quite lift her chest up and press down into the beam to finish the skill with no deduction.
2021, she's the SEC balance beam champion. Superb execution.
She has the perfect combination of the acrobatic skills, the dance elements, showing off flexibility, control. Very nice footwork on beam, good posture. And a new dismount for her. Out of the back handspring, a 1.5 twist, The gymnasts now have to perform a C skill. They used to be able to do an aerial into a B dismount, the lower level of difficulty, no longer. So they've all changed their dismounts to fulfill that.
Our next NBA Saturday matchup on ABC and the ESPN app is a matinee in Miami. Jimmy Butler and the Heat host Giannis and the Bucks in an Eastern Conference battle. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. Aria Brush now after Olivia Hollingsworth, 9.85. Brush, the senior from Cincinnati.
Opens with the front through the double back, the same pass we just saw her teammate finish with, and she managed to stay in bounds, but of course they'll deduct for the lack of control and the steps. Had she gone out of bounds, it would have been an additional 1/10 of a point deduction. Judges looking for complete split. She does 3 dance elements in a row. Big finish, pike double back. Step forward, so she was slightly under-rotated. They'll take a deduction there. But great to see that endurance coming back.
That was Aria Bush.
So we saw 2 double backs in this routine. The first one right here is in a tuck position. So the shape of the skill, those knees are bent and tucked into the chest. And boy, she fights to not give away that 1/10 of a point for the out of bounds, but they'll have to deduct for the lack of control.
All right, next up for Florida, Kayla DiCello on the beam.
Kayla is an athlete that you're going to see a lot of in her Florida career. She's really making a statement for herself, not just on one event, but multiple events already. She's an athlete that has a lot of elite experience, and with that, she has a lot of skills that she came to college with. I asked head coach Jenny Rowland, how do you decide which skills to put in the routine? She said, we asked them, what do you feel most comfortable competing? What skills can you do in your sleep? And we just build around that. Kayla's an athlete that's really known for adjusting on beam. She's a really smart athlete, has a lot of maturity. You're gonna see her think quick on her feet, and that's really the mark of a true beam worker. Here she goes for her series. Back handspring layout. Kathy, did you see any adjustments there?
Not at all, but you know she's making them all the way throughout this routine, just the right amount of adjustment each time.
What I'm most impressed with Kayla is her calm demeanor. She's just a freshman. There are so many people in this arena. You can hear everyone explode, and she still handles the pressure. Bart?
Thank you, Sam. It's so great to see after her incredible elite career, she has made a full commitment to NCAA gymnastics.
Back handspring. This is a new dismount. Coming to college, you have to learn these college-type dismounts. Many of them do double backs off the beam, but they really need these stuck landings, so they find the dismount that they can do in their sleep, as Sam reminded us.
Cassie Stevens now up for Auburn on floor. The high score over there so far is Hollingsworth with a 9.85. Aria Brush at 9.725 after that slight stumble on the first tumbling pass.
Front layout to a Rudy, just slightly soft in the knees on that front layout.
Stevens has 2 9.85s already tonight on both vault and bars.
those difficult leaps, the ones where they have to hit the split but also get the complete rotation in the turn in the air to get credit for those skills. Sometimes they will be downgraded. Nice control on that final tumbling pass. Well done. So the judges are really looking at the landings, and the landing of a tumbling pass, the chest should be up high, control on 2 feet, and they may step back into, they can stick on 2 feet or step back 1 step into a controlled lunge.
Talk about how good Florida is as we get ready to see Leanne Wong coming off that perfect 10 on bar. Kayla DiCello before her a 9.925. So DiCello in just 3 of 4 events had a 9.9 and 2 9.925s tonight. Is sitting out the floor to rest, but that's how strong this team is in terms of depth, all the way through 8 or 9 deep on every event. And here is World Championship medalist Leanne Wong.
And this is quite a beam team. They just have a group of natural beamers. Leanne is as beautiful on this event. Did you see her back leg on those leaps? So few gymnasts can really get the elevation of that back leg, keep it turned out, and toes pointed. So soft on the landing. But when I say soft in this way, that's good. It's just very, very firm and aggressive and attacks those landings, presses down hard, but smooth, effortless work. You should look as if you're gliding across the top of the beam, not a beam that's 4 inches wide, which is just a little bit wider than a bigger cell phone. But double twist, wow, got
nice.
the landing. Good for her.
Leanne Wong.
What a night.
I'll
this
say.
This is unbelievable.
A great deal of focus on Trinity Thomas, of course, and Suni Lee for obvious reasons, but Leanne Wong on fire here tonight at home. The crowd wants to see another 10.
A lot of gymnasts decide not to do that double twist because it is so difficult to stick. Look at the back leg. A toe point should look like it begins from the hip all the way through the leg, completely flat knees and a perfectly pointed toe. Wow.
How
Just
about that?
Outstanding.
This is one of the events where the dismounts have been upgraded in order to create a little differential on balance beam, and she drilled that double full. We'll see what she comes up with as we go to Suni Lee on floor.
Opening with a double layout. Perfect control on the landing.
Cassie Stevens before her, a 9.9.
My favorite part of the choreography, right here, down to the floor.
Suni Lee is finishing up floor. The score comes in for Leanne Wong. It's a 10.
What a split screen here.
Oh my goodness. While we have the Olympic champion competing for Auburn, the other side of the arena is where the focus is. Leanne Wong, her second 10 of the night.
Wow.
Yeah, Bart, I just had a chance to speak with Leanne Wong, and I asked her what her mindset was when she was up there, and she said, honestly, just trying to have fun. I said, do you do that in the elite world? And she said, I'm trying to do more of that by practicing, trusting my training, and trusting my team. And she had a huge smile. I don't think I've seen a smile on her face that big. It's incredible.
Sam, you got to tell her to bottle it right there. Just bottle whatever she was thinking and feeling.
I'll pass it along.
We go from star to star. Here is Trinity Thomas.
And we'll see if these stars align, because Trinity can strive for perfection on this event.
Had a perfect 10 last week here at home.
Her acrobatic series is a little bit different than we usually see. One arm back handspring right here into the layout step out.
Oh.
So elegant, so smooth. Oh very difficult front aerial to 2 feet. Had to pike at the hip, so that's a big balance deduction there. But I have to say here, I am glad that these great gymnasts are pushing the difficulty a little bit this year, like adding that new skill. And you'll see a new dismount for Trinity here, more difficult. And this is, you have to put it out there. Didn't quite get the stick. But these are the kind of things that get you battle ready for postseason. You need to be able to work through these things that the entire team has to.
Trinity's such a perfectionist with all those perfect 10s in her collegiate career. Probably a little bit disappointed if that was not her best effort. Score for Suni Lee on floor was a 9.85. And Darian Goborn will anchor floor.
Now, if that didn't get your attention, I don't know what does.
Or the crown. Sit back and enjoy this one.
She and her brother have outdone themselves with that choreography. Of course, he helped choreograph her last year's routine. Open double tuck, good control. Really working hard on trying to perfect those leaps. You really want the straddle with both legs equally high, level.
Got a 10 last year in the dual meet with Florida. She turned 24 this week, the graduate student.
And Bart, she said, 24 going on 37. I feel so old. I got news for her. Old people can't do this. Finishes with a pike double back. Block it off. So I love seeing the Florida fans here appreciate that routine. You gotta love it. So much fun. Open double tuck. Notice those legs are bent intentionally to hit that tuck position. Could have been a little bit more tuck for my liking. And the pike double back, good control.
Sam Pescic is with head coach Jenny Rowland of the Florida Gators.
Thanks, Bart. Jenny, you guys had some lineup changes on the first event. You were trailing going into the second event. What was the message to your team for the second half?
Stay normal. Be them, trust the process, and stay calm, cool, and collected.
Leanne scored 2 10s. The crowd was electric. How do you center this energy heading into the last event?
Really, you can't beat this atmosphere. What an amazing environment for these young women to compete in on Friday night. So grateful for Gator Nation for showing up tonight.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you.
An excited crowd here in Gainesville tonight. 2 great teams, number 2 against number 5, and a couple of the brightest stars in NCAA gymnastics. We're going to go to the final event when we come back. Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark, and what a night we're having here. We had so much focus on Olympic champion Sunisa Lee and national champion Trinity Thomas, but it is Leanne Wong with 2 perfect 10s that has been the highlight tonight so far.
Boy, when Florida flipped the switch, it went wild. And Leanne Wong, what a night to remember. I can guarantee you all gymnastic fans are going to be talking about her bars and beam.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, Florida has the lead as they go to floor in this final rotation. It's an electric night here in Gainesville. Let's see if Florida can hold off number 5 Auburn coming up. lot of Gator chomps in the building tonight. A huge sellout crowd of over 9,600. It's the third largest crowd in Exactech Arena since 2017 in the renovations, 9,678. Another sellout for the spectacular Gators. In this final rotation now, Florida has the lead, and Olivia Hollingsworth will lead it off for Auburn on the beam. They trail by just less than 0.4 of a point.
Auburn has a very strong beam team. So this competition is not over. Florida needs to land their tumbling passes. Auburn needs to stay tight and focused, aggressive on this event. Acro series, back handspring, layout step out, nicely done. Switch leap to a switch half, beat jump. Oh, an additional step out of that side aerial, which she performed. That's an extra D in this routine. Her acro skilled acro series didn't earn bonus points, so she added that. Oh, and a hop on the landing. So gave away some tenths of a point in that routine. The extra step out of the aerial, the adjustment step, and then that hop on the landing.
Lori Brubach will be the leadoff competitor for Florida on the beam. You see the meet summary to this point. Remember, Florida trailed Auburn after the first rotation, but they have extended their lead to .375 coming into this fourth and final event. And they're on floor.
With her combination pass front layout to Rudy. All the gymnasts have to perform one tumbling pass that has 2 saltos or 2 flipping skills in combination. Jeremy Miranda is the volunteer coach for Florida. He does all of their music and choreography every year. Just does a great job of really working with the athlete to get a feel for what they want. Oh, big step out of that tumbling pass. I believe she stayed in bounds. And it's really a fun time of the year when they put these routines together. The athletes find the music that makes them feel what they want to feel during this routine. So this is her final pass. Let's see how large the step was, because that's how big the deduction will be. Well inside the boundaries. But that front foot slid back when she went into the lunge, so they'll deduct for that.
Talk about how deep this team is as she gets congratulations there from Adrienne Burde, assistant coach. They lost a third of their routines from last year's second place finish team, but they are certainly reloading with some outstanding talent as we go back to Auburn on beam. Aria Brush after Olivia Hollingsworth had a very solid 9.825.
This is an example of an acro dance series. So she connected an acro skill, that aerial, into the split jump. That fulfills that requirement. Handspring layout, step out. And one of the things I want to point out throughout the seasons, there are gymnasts who really show great amplitude on their aerial skills on beam, get a little bit more lift off the balance beam. I think that's something that just, ooh, a little low on that back leg on that leap. They will have to deduct there. Really need to get that back leg up even with the front leg. It is a requirement that the gymnast show at least one leap with a full 180-degree split. Good landing, though. Nice fight to not move those feet.
Big game. Victoria Wynn now coming after Lori Brubach and 9.825 in the leadoff spot.
And I love the music she chose. She loved the movie, Howl's Moving Castle, and wanted more of this elegant music. It's unusual in college.
Sure is.
Front double twist, that is an E skill, one of the most difficult skills, and she went right into the seesaw.
Skills are rated A to E, A being worth 1/10, and E skill is worth 2/10 towards their bonus, and a D skill worth 1/10. As you mentioned earlier, they need a 9.4 base score if they fulfill all the requirements, but they need to get 6/10 from additional difficult skills or combinations of skills to get to a 10-0.
And that's one of those turns that will earn her bonus, lifting that leg up high in the full turn. And they have to earn bonus in both in the skills and in connections. Back 1.5 to front layout. Nice job. Oh, so
that's nice.
Elegant and refreshing. I don't know how you gator chomp to that music, but she did it
figured it
so
out
beautifully.
That's quite ambitious in college because the low-hanging fruit is to do kind of a clap-along song.
No, I love
But how
this.
nice that she went for something more classical.
She had a teeny bit of a stutter step between that front double full into the seesaw. Be interesting to see if she gets that connection bonus, but she had plenty of bonus in this routine.
Part of being a good coach means you have to figure out how to get the most out of your athletes. Head coach Jeff Grado told us that Cassie Stevens has an engineer brain. Anytime they had a plan B, plan A would never work out. So they wanted to take away plan B, except I just watched her series. It was a back handspring layout. She was supposed to do a triple series there, but she was crooked all warm-ups, so I'm guessing they took it out. Kathy?
Either that or it was a split-second decision if she felt a little bit off on that first one, but he really, really wanted her to go for it. There's the Stevens. She engineered, engineered that skill, named after her in the JO Coda points.
Aria Brush before her had a 9.875. Auburn trailing Florida. However, 2 solid hit routines so far. This event where they are one of the top in the country.
Well, she stayed top in that routine. Yes, she did not do the triple series as they hoped she would do, but the rest of it was just rock solid.
Jeff Grabo just came over to me and said, sorry, I lied to you a little bit. We took the triple series out last minute. He starts laughing and says, the triple series is going back in on Monday, don't worry.
Okay.
I'm sure they're having that conversation.
Glad we got that straightened out, Sam.
9-9 was the score for Victoria Wynn, so she was rewarded for going classical. Lovely done. Well done. Hayden Richards now.
So some people might remember her Tom Petty inspired routine. Well, now it's Dr. Dre. They wanted to do kind of a mashup. Double layout. That little full turn, slightly different style. Back 1.5, front full, a more difficult combination pass. As I said before, they have to do a skill with tumbling pass with 2 saltos. She twisted both of them. Nice level of difference. Oh, I love the extra head tilt and smile after the chomp. That, she was happy.
The senior from Mokina, Illinois, named after one of the great Chicago Bears, Walter Payton.
Watch how she connects this. This is a 1.5 twist, then into a front with a full twist.
Sophia Groth will be up on beam now for Auburn after their second straight 9-8, 7-5 in a row.
And Sophia is a gymnast who just attacks with such joy and passion, smiles from ear to ear. Watch her land this series, how she attacks the landing. Back handspring, lay out, back handspring, so firm, so aggressive.
Kathy, it's really hard to compete beam, especially in this environment. But for Auburn, they actually have to fight for their lineup spots. There's 8 gymnasts that compete and warm up in the touch. And then Jeff Graba decides on the lineup. He was joking and said, we became a really good beam team when I was switching the lineups in the 30-second touch, because they have to fight every single turn they take.
Iron sharpens iron. You gotta be tough. She had a leg up balance break in this routine, and a hop on that landing. That leg up is a more significant balance break, so it'll be a more sizable deduction.
Jeff Graba certainly has a much deeper team than he's had in the past, so he's 8 or 9 deep on every event as well. A luxury. So
no, now it's a necessity.
It really is.
If you're going to vie for those final 4 and to win a national championship.
After Peyton Richards, a 9.925, a career high for her. Leanne Wong, who's having a career night already with 2 perfect 10s. Let's see how she can finish it up on floor here in the 4th spot for Florida.
Last year, she opened the routine with a triple twist. Very difficult. Now she's going to do a different, very difficult pass. This is an Arabian double front in pike position. So hard, and right
gorgeous.
into the stag jump. Dances right out of it.
Wow, what finesse.
Watch how she fully extends every dance skill, every movement. Beautiful elevation, perfect split in the air. With a half front full. Wow. Whoa. What a competition.
My goodness.
Spectacular routines. Just packed with difficulty, beauty, elegance. The routine had it all.
And tons of difficulty in that opening combination. This is world-class stuff. It scores well in college, but she's also still dabbling with that elite gymnastics career where the level of difficulty required is higher. There is a lot of tension in this building because there are over 9,000. A sellout crowd again, hoping to see perhaps another 10. Gabby McLaughlin now on beam after Sophia Groth had a 9.8.
And I love Gabby McLaughlin on beam. She is just so precise, such pretty work. Her footwork, switch leap into back handspring layout step out. Now that's a connecting dance and a difficult acrobatic series.
9 scores of 9-9 or better last year. This is where she made her biggest contributions to the team. Oh, while Gabby McLaughlin is on beam, the scores are in for Leanne Wong. It's a 9.975. There was a 10 from one judge and a 9.95 from the other.
That's a heck of a score. And this is a beautiful beam routine. She kept her composure.
No kidding.
Her focus. And so many of these fans are missing some exquisite beam work. Love the footwork, the high releve. Oh, not quite a stick on the landing, but well done.
Boy, that's a tough position to be in. Trailing Florida at home, coming after Leanne Wong. And Gabby McLaughlin managed to handle the pressure. Trinity Thomas now on floor. Let's go to Sam.
Yeah, at the team meeting yesterday, Trinity Thomas told everyone that they need to pretend like they're walking upstairs. Because when you walk upstairs, you don't look back. You have to focus on one step at a time, no matter what. With all of this energy, what a perfect message heading into her floor routine. 4
times last year, perfect 10s on floor.
And she has been set up perfectly by Leanne Wong with a 9.975 because Trinity can do one of the most outstanding floor routines. And it all starts with this pass right here, the best in NCAA gymnastics, maybe even in the world, a double layout that is unrivaled.
Hard to believe you can be so high and so powerful and yet land with such finesse.
And watch the amplitude on her leaps.
Wow. So on bars, Trinity Thomas set up Leanne Wong for a 10. Could it be a returned favor here? Leanne Wong with a 9.975 and Trinity Thomas on fire. Could this be her 10?
Combination pass, full front layout, just gorgeous elevation, control as always. And her famous butterfly into this gorgeous pose and a strong, dynamic finish.
Okay.
What a finale.
What? And that's just their 5th performer. Morgan Hurd will be the final floor performer. After the 9.975 from Leanne Wong, the crowd wants a 10.
Boy, each routine has just built on the previous. Look at the rise.
Oh my.
Goes even higher on the second somersault. That is just otherworldly.
And it's so hard to keep good form on that double layout.
Their floor choreographer, Jeremy, just came over, looked me in the eye and said, "Tell Kathy she held her ending pose." Message specifically to you.
Oh.
So as we wait for the score for Trinity Thomas, perfect 10 last week for Sunisa Lee on beam, and she, of course, anchor performer for Auburn on beam. And the score's in for Trinity Thomas. It's a perfect 10.
Oh, goodness gracious. While Sunisa Lee does the hardest beam routine, switch leap to switch leap half. What a split screen here. This is phenomenal gymnastics, folks. Side aerial to 2 layouts.
Oh,
that's as hard as it
goodness.
gets. Oh, a leg up balance correction.
You mentioned earlier she's really pushing the limits of difficulty more than what's required in college gymnastics.
And I love it way more, way more. Tuck full, dismount, gainer full. Well, good for her. This is not an easy situation to do a balance beam routine in.
Wow, the entire building is celebrating Trinity Thomas's 10 on floor. Terrific atmosphere here in Gainesville. Trinity Thomas now with 22 perfect 10s. As we said at the top of the show, she's chasing that national record, which is held by Jamie Dancher from UCLA, 28 10s. And here is Morgan Hurd. She will anchor floor. A year ago, she had ACL surgery. What a thrill to see her here on floor of all things.
And she has had a cold this past week. They weren't sure if they were gonna let her go on floor, but everybody is thrilled to see this. The perfect music for Avatar. If anybody can move air, water, and fire, it's Morgan Hurd. Oh, just absolutely incredible flexibility. Torn ACL kept her out of competition last year. High double back at the end. Oh, just stepped over the line.
Oh my goodness.
And I saw her in training. She's doing a double layout in training. That will be added soon into this routine. But what joy to see her performing floor exercise again.
Exactly a year from her ACL surgery, and she ends floor with a pike double back, Kathy.
Yes, and coming off of a cold, they weren't sure about her endurance. But you know what you can be sure about with Morgan Hurd? Her heart. This gymnast has the biggest heart, and it's so wonderful to see her shining so bright right now.
Not surprising that Morgan Hurd won the Gator Gymnast Heart and Soul honorable mention last year. The Florida Gators will win this one at home in front of a sellout crowd. We're waiting on the score for Morgan Hurd. Sunisa Lee on beam ended up with a 9.875. They had 4 9.875s. An outstanding job for Auburn on beam. But all eyes, of course, on the home team. Score in for Morgan Hurd is a 9.825. She did step out of bounds. But it does mean with a 197.825, Florida gets the win. A highlight tonight, Leanne Wong's 2 perfect 10s.
Boy, this is going to be the talk of the town. Just extraordinary technique, form, precision. Made this look so easy and effortless. I don't think she could have moved those feet if she tried. Fantastic flexibility, elegance, and got this landing after the double twist, held on to it. 2 10s. Incredible.
And 2 of the finest teams in NCAA. Number 2, Florida. Number 5, Auburn. Leanne Wong with a 39.825 even outshines the current NCAA champion Trinity Thomas, her teammate, and the current Olympic champion Sunisa Lee in the all-around as well. Jenny Rowland and Morgan Hurd. An emotional hug tonight as Hurd is back to competition. Incredible night here in Gainesville. Thanks for joining us. So long. Coming up next, college basketball, VCU versus Dayton.